The following story is not true. Not one word of it. It's a story about white on black racism inside the police department in Bridgeport, Connecticut, and how white cops were subjecting black cops all sorts of racism, including notes, racist notes, talking about the KKK and white supremacy that were found in police mailboxes. Local and national media swallowed as hook, line, and sinker, including the New York Daily News, the Washington Post, and of course, the local media.
Brad, today we learned that this wasn't the first letter or racially charged letter found here at the Bridgeport Police Department. The Bridgeport Guardians say that it's actually the third since last year, and they want to know who's responsible. It's an act of racism that the city of Bridgeport says will not be tolerated in its police department. These letters reading white power were reportedly left in the mailboxes of white officers at the Bridgeport Police Department.
These letters are abhorrent and they're intolerable, especially in 2015 in a urban police department.
Tom Busey is the attorney for the Bridgeport Guardians, a group that represents minority police officers. The group says these letters are creating a hostile work environment for black officers.
When this letter came about, which everybody probably know about, the letter had said white power, these black officers belong in the toilet. Something like this coming through the police department, it just shouldn't never happen.
Now the Bridgeport Guardians are demanding action. They say they're working with Bridgeport Police Chief Joe Gaudette to see who is responsible. They believe it's an inside job.
We will support Chief Gaudette and find out who this person is or individuals, and we would love to see them out of the police department.
The city says the state police are also looking into the incident, and if someone is found guilty of wrongdoing, swift, immediate action will be taken.
It's the few who spew this hateful language that must be isolated because they have no place in a police organization.
The Bridgeport Guardians also say they're trying to work with the police department on how to address community concerns because the group has received many phone calls expressing concern about this act of racism, and they need to make sure that the community dialogue can be good between the police department and the community. Live in Bridgeport, Amanda Rouse, NBC Connecticut News.
We now know this guy wrote it. Back in February, he was still a cop in Bridgeport. So he goes to work one day, finds this note in his box, takes it to the bosses and said, wow, we have a hostile work environment here. That, of course, is a buzzword that you need in order to file a lawsuit and get paid. Anyway, it turns out he wrote the note on the job using Bridgeport computers, and he did it all on video. So he got popped on video. When they showed him the evidence, he kind of confessed, and he said the only reason he did it is because the head of the Guardians, the Black Police Officers Union in Bridgeport, they have chapters all over the country, the Guardians, told him to do it. This guy. These hoaxes are starting to pile up, aren't they? It's interesting what we can learn from them. We can learn how the local media uncritically accepts everything they hear if it involves white racism on black people, which everybody knows happens all the time, is everywhere, and explains everything. That is the greatest lie of our generation. And this is just another example of how the local and national press is standing by to spread it at every opportunity. We document a lot of these hoaxes and don't make the black kids angry. And on this website, we document a lot how black people lie about their experience with racism, how they are victims of racism. Here we have cops doing it, we have public officials doing it, we have actresses doing it, other public figures doing it, being exposed on video. That's why I want you to share, like these videos, subscribe to this channel. Get a copy of Don't Make the Black Kids Angry. Read it. Share that. Because the only way I know how to fight this big lie, the biggest lie of our generation, is with the truth. This is Colin Flaherty. Talk to you next time.